Hey, what's going on? Hey, we just got back from Mackay a few weeks ago. We got together with a group of fellow Can Am Maverick Trail owners. Four of us, four machines in total. We had few hours of one day, but for the most part, for the 3 days we were there. There was four of us. We all kind of met on a Facebook page. If you guys have a Maverick Trail, or if you're interested in a Maverick Trail, there's a Facebook page called Can Am Maverick Trail and Sport Chat. You ought to check it out. Anyway, we set this up about a year ago. Well, 9 months ago. It's been in the works for a long time. But so the first day we just did the Mackay Mine Hill. An easy kind of ride, a get acquainted ride for those of us that didn't know each other, and something simple. And this mine tour is really pretty neat, but I'm just warning you that if you're gonna do this mine tour, that the maps, there's maps available in town, but they're for the most part almost useless. A lot of the roads are closed. There's some active mining going on now, and it seems like some private properties are starting to close off the gates. But if you look around and you get creative, creative to stay on the trail, you'll find that there is more than one way to get to most of the destinations on the tour. But yeah, so first day, simple little cruise up and around Mine Hill and did the mine tour. So 4 machines total, like I said. Of course, mine and my wife's the one behind the camera, and Dan and Judy. Dan's the one that organized this event, put it all together. Jim and Diana, and Clay and Christy.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, we fell in love with Mackay. We've been wanting to go there for a while, and now I'm kind of surprised we never did, because we're only a few hours from our house, but we are definitely going back. We loved Mackay. And there's the man himself.
Hello from the old buzzard.
That's the old buzzard. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel up in the top right-hand corner. If you're a Maverick Trail fan, you ought to check out his page. But anyway, let's just get this video started. Old buildings, man, they are really amazing. And that thing, man, I'm just amazed it's still standing. I look at any one of those boards coming down, and one of those boards breaks, and that whole thing's coming down. So here we start on day 2. Day 2 we went east. We decided to do the East Mountains. Dan was our tour guide. Thanks again, Dan, for doing all the research and picking our routes and all the work that you put into putting this thing together. We all really appreciate it. So this is the only 50-inch gate that I remember really coming across. Boy, this thing was
Yeah, you're good, damn
pretty
straight.
tight. Well, it wasn't even tight. It was just kind of awkwardly shaped.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. Straight.
The one side was pretty easy to get through, but you see that thing just sticking out of that pole right there, just waiting to gouge a big hole in the side of your machine. It was just a little tricky getting through this gate, just the direction you had to go through it. And anyway, went on a lot of 50-inch trails, but this was the only real gate that we found. But there were other natural obstacles on these 50-inch trails, trees and things that you really had a hard time fitting through. We ran into pretty decent obstacle along the way. We had a big old tree that had fallen across the trail, and a few hours before that, we were passed by a few razor trails, and we caught back up to them, back up at this fallen tree, and it was all the way across. There was a little, you can see where somebody had gone around it on that side hill, but it just looked really sketchy to go around it. So yeah, 4 of us, grown-ass men, own chainsaws, and not one of us brought it. So here we are with bow saws and hand saws and shovels and sheer willpower. We ended up cutting through it, almost through it in 2 places. And so we snapped it here with the winch, and it only broke in the one place, and now it was laying across the trail. So we ended up having to put a snatch block on the other side and kind of pull the tree away from us to get it up and off the trail. But it worked out pretty good. And there is the tree right there. That thing was all the way across. But to those of you that came up behind us, you're welcome. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is the reason that I bought a 50-inch machine, was to do these trails like this. You know, out in the remote areas that, and these are trails that not everyone can get on. And I mean, I like to go fast. Don't get me wrong. I just don't go fast in my Maverick Trail. I like to come out here in nature, and I like to just cruise. And I like to enjoy my trip. It's not a matter of how fast I can get from one place to another. Man. So this is obstacle number 2. Another fallen tree, but somebody had laid a bunch of sticks and rocks and made a little ramp to go over the top of it, and it just seemed easier than trying to cut it or go around it, so we just went up and over the top of it.
Okay. Yep, now just go nice and slow. Nice. Just go nice and slow. Slow. Nice. Nice. Oh gosh. Beautiful. Good job.
and it started to rain. And, you know, we don't have a windshield, and I don't want a windshield, so we've had enough bad experiences in rain and some really close calls that anymore we just throw a tarp over the cab and we just waited it out. And like I said, I would rather go home in the dark, dry, than go home during the day, cold and wet. And the others kind of carried on. They turned right here at this intersection to go in the direction that we're facing now to finish the loop that was kind of on the agenda. And we didn't have the map or anything else, so from here we just kind of went back the way we came. So we sat here for, I don't know, it's about a half hour or so and let it rain. And then, see the deer. So this is going back through this little section of forest that we went through on our way up. And this turned out to be one of the most amazing parts of our trip. Just this everything just freshly wet, the raindrops sticking to the pine needles, and at some point the sun started peeking back through, and steam. I mean, this was 10 miles of my life that I will not forget. This was just beautiful coming back through here. So now here we are on day 3. We are back now on the west side of Mackay, and not on the Mine Hill. We're going exploring, checking out some 50-inch trails on the west side. And we'd learned a little at this point that the map was a little, I don't know, the map would say something was a road, and you'd see that road, and you'd swear it was a trail. And so when you saw a 50-inch trail on the map, you honestly didn't know what to expect. And so here we were on day 3, expecting the unexpected, and we had no idea what we were getting into, but off we went. And this mountain is just rugged. It's beautiful, but boy, you got to work. You got to earn it. You got to earn it to get to the top of this one.
That one. Now go up and over that one.
Welcome to the Pucker Switchback. Yeah, for us, this will forever be known as the pucker switchback. It's downhill. Camera does not do this justice. It was steep, and it's downhill and it's banked. And when you're trying to go down, your front wheel's trying to dive, and it's a super sharp, 4, 5, 6 point turn to get around that. And there's nowhere but down.
Back up.
Yeah, this was interesting. So now you can see here on Jim and Diana's rig, as they start to make this turn, the driver's side front wheel wants to dip down, and you'll see the passenger side rear tire, it starts to come up right there. See, now it's really not even touching the ground, and it just keeps coming up, and you are ready to roll. And you think you got it. I mean, you are sucking seat going around that corner. It was sketchy.
Straight for me. Just don't go slow. Just keep coming. So turn. Nice. Go all the way out to the edge. Okay, stop. Now back up.
So again, a big thanks to Dan and Judy. Dan for putting this whole thing together, and to Judy for putting up with all of us. And a big thanks to Jim and Diana and Clay and Christy for putting up with our crap all weekend and letting my wife shoot you with her camera. We had such a great time, and when we fell in love with Mackay, we are definitely going back to Mackay. And it's right in my backyard. It's not like I say, it's less than 3 hours away. I don't know why I've never been here before, but I am definitely going back. But thanks for watching the video. Like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see y'all in the next video.